Hi, hola, ni hao. Welcome to QW's Quest, where everyone's a pal. We play, adventure, learn, and love. Today our play adventure is going to be with paints. We're going to explore the primary colors. So you're going to need yellow, red, and blue paints. And make sure you have a really great piece of paper and your parents' permission. And we're going to learn through literature today by reading Thanks for the Feedback. I think my story about accepting criticism and compliments the right way. Written by Julia Cook and illustrated by Kelsey DeWord. With special thanks to Boys Town Press for their permission. Also, you can order this fantastic book at boystownpress.org. Alright, so now we are off to our play and adventure, where we're going to learn about the primary colors and what they do. So the first one you should have is a blue, then a yellow, and then a red. By mixing these colors together, we get even more colors. So let's start by putting them around our paper. So I'm going to start with yellow. Okay. Then going to add red on one side. Now you can make your picture however you like. This is just a quick example of how you can make different colors using these three primary colors. Okay. So, mixing red and blue, it's going to create a beautiful purple. So if you think you don't have a color, if you have blue or red, you can make any color that you want just by mixing them together. So you've got your primary colors, and from there you can make different colors that you want. So you can make a dark purple or a more red purple or a more blue purple. It just depends on what you want to do. Now, if I take my red and I mix it with my yellow, I'm going to get orange, which is lots of fun. And I just keep mixing and mixing and mixing, and we have this fantastic, beautiful orange color. And then, if I mix yellow and blue, we will have a very fun, any guesses? A beautiful green. And you can just mix them and mix them until you are satisfied. If I add more yellow, I'll get a lighter green. If I add more blue, I get a more of a turquoise or teal color. Sometimes we find a blue-green. And if I add more blue, we just get a really pretty shade. So you can see all the different ones. Now you can just mix and mix and mix and see the different colors that you can make. Now, the blue, red, and yellow are my primary colors. But if you decide that you want to make different colors, we have white that when mixed with red makes pink. Or you can make even lighter colors, so I can mix in to make a light yellow or even a light blue. And then I can mix the whites with the different colors to create beautiful colors. Now, if I add black to white, I get gray. So you have a lot of colors to experiment with. You have a lot of colors to make beautiful masterpieces with. It's just how and what you want to create. So today we've adventured with our primary colors and seen all the different beauties that they make. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to go off to learn through literature. Welcome to Learning Through Literature. We're going to read Thanks for the Feedback, I Think, my story about accepting criticism and compliments the right way, written by Julia Cook and illustrated by Kelsey DeWord. A special thanks to Boys Town Press for allowing us to read this story. My name is RJ, and sometimes when people say things to me, I have a hard time knowing what to say back. One day after school, Frankie and I were having a bubble gum blowing contest. I blew a bubble that was about 29 times bigger than Frankie's. He looked at me and said, "You could go to the Olympics in bubble blowing and you'd win gold." When Frankie's words went into my head, I started to think about what he had said. I had no idea what to say back to him, and then all of my words just started to swim. "No, I'm not that good. You're a lot better than I am," I said. A few days ago, Norma, the booger picker, said, "Hey RJ, I like your new bubblegum t-shirt." Norma actually said something nice to me. She never does that. When Norma's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all of my words turned into a blur. "You just like it because it's green," I said. "The same color as your boogers." Norma blew on her bangs, rolled her eyes at me, and walked away. Then she didn't talk to me for the rest of the day, which isn't such a bad thing. Then yesterday, when we were playing soccer at recess, Sam said, "Hey RJ, you need to kick the ball with more of the side of your foot when you shoot instead of using your toes." When Sam's words went into my head, I started to think about what he said. I had no idea what to say back to him. Then all of my words just started to swim. "What do you know about shooting?" I said. "You're a goalie, not a forward." Sam gave me a weird look. Then he shook his head, wrinkled his eyebrows, and walked away. He wouldn't even sit by me at lunch. And that's a bad thing because I ended up sitting by Norma, queen of the silent treatment. Last night, I had to go to parent-teacher conferences. I have no idea why I had to go. I'm not a parent or a teacher. RJ, said my teacher, as we all took a seat, having you as my student is such a great treat. Who, me? You're doing such a great job when it comes to spelling, and I am very impressed with your storytelling. You are? You're also keeping your desk a whole lot neater. And at our school play, you were an excellent greeter. I was? RJ, when it comes to your math, I just can't say enough. You're one of my best. You know all the right stuff. I do? We do need to talk about a few things. Sometimes your voice isn't as soft as it seems. I know it's hard for you to stay in your seat, but work time's the wrong time to try out your feet. I feel that you still waste too much time. Let's work on your focus so that you can shine. When my teacher's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all of my words just turned into a blur. But I'm not the only one who talks out in class. I stay in my seat more than I used to, and I do focus. You just don't notice. Just then, my mom reached over and tapped me on the knee under the table. That's her signal for, RJ, stop talking. So I did. When we got home that night, my parents made me sit at the kitchen table with them so we could talk about my conference. RJ, my mom said, your teacher gave you some really nice compliments tonight. Why didn't you just tell her thank you? When my teacher's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all of my words just turned into a blur. RJ, when someone gives you a compliment, the best thing for you to do is look at the person, use a nice, pleasant voice, and simply say, thank you. Knowing the power of a compliment and learning how to accept praise can make you better and more successful in life. Then, RJ, said my dad, your teacher gave you some great constructive feedback on how you can do better. And you sorta started to argue with her. But Dad, when my teacher's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. I had no idea what to say back to her. Then all of my words just turned into a blur. RJ, feedback is a good thing. It's information that can help you improve and grow. Most of the time, when a person gives you feedback, it doesn't make you feel good. But that's the price you have to pay for growing. The way you handle feedback will make a difference in how other people treat you. Some people will give you mean feedback, and most of the time that's difficult to accept. You probably don't deserve mean feedback, but some people need to put others down so they can feel better about themselves. But just keep in mind, RJ, most feedback is just information. When somebody gives you feedback, they're helping to improve who you are. Listen to the person and say, okay, their words just might take you far. Make sure that when you listen, you look to the one who is talking to you. Stay calm on the inside, no matter what is said. Then carefully think it through. Are there times in class when you talk too loud or too much? Yeah, I guess. Do you have a hard time staying in your seat during work time? Yeah, I guess. Do you need to focus more in class so you don't waste your time? Yeah, I guess. Well, RJ, I think your teacher was giving you great feedback. About 39 years later, I got up from the kitchen table and went to bed. Before I went to sleep, I thought about everything my mom and dad told me. What they said really did make sense. The next day at school, I used the sides of my feet to kick the soccer ball, just like Sam told me to, and I made 3 goals during recess. When the bell rang, Sam came up to me and said, "You're awesome, RJ." I looked at him, smiled big, and said thanks, just like my mom told me to. During work time, when my teacher gave me the special signal for sit down, stop talking, and start working, I picked up on it right away, really tried to focus, and got all of my work done without wasting time. At the end of the day, Bossy Bernice came over to my desk. "You stink at math because you don't show all of the steps," she said. "I bet you even copy off other people's so you can get the right answers." When Bernice's words went into my head, I started to think about what she said. She called me a cheater, and that's kind of mean, but her information is not what it seems. Maybe Bernice is just having a bad day, and unfortunately, I happened to get in her way. Maybe I should write down all of the steps. Then my teacher will know that I'm doing my best. Bernice gave me feedback, and now I know. Feedback is information that's helping me grow. "I don't cheat, Bernice," I said, "but you're probably right. I should write down all of my steps. Thanks for the tip. P.S. Maybe I should have my dad talk to Bernice." The end. Thank you for tuning in to QW's Quest, where everyone's a pal. We play, adventure, learn, and love. Today we played and adventured with the primary colors using paint. We learned that red, yellow, and blue are our primary colors. We also learned what happens when you use white and black with the different colors. We also read the wonderful book When We Learn Through Literature with Thanks for the Feedback, I think. My story about accepting criticism and compliments the right way by Julia Cook and illustrated by Kelsey DeWard. And it was published by Boys Town Press. We look forward to spending more time with you next time when we play Adventure, Learn, and Love. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.